In this part 3 of our series on QuickBooks Online setup for psychiatry and solo private practices, I'm going to teach you how to create bank rules for your insurance deposits. If you're wondering who I am, I'm Laurie Ellison from Madison Ave Bookkeeping. I've been in business for over 20 years and my company specializes in solo private practices. All right, let's get started. This is part 3 in our series of how to categorize and create bank rules. And this is specifically for insurance income, but you could actually do it for any type of income. But in this video, I'm going to show how to do it a couple times for insurance, and I'm going to show you how fast I can do it. All right, so let's get started. One thing I want to mention before we start is that in my demo file, I already have these insurance companies set up as customers. And, you know, there's a lot of talk, and I talk a lot about this being, HIPAA compliant. You can't put your patients' names in here or your clients' names in here. But that doesn't mean that you can't put insurance companies in here. So that's totally fine. It's not saying anyone's name. All right. So when you connect your bank account, you'll see a lot of other things. This video is specifically about insurance. So this is why this is the only thing you'll see. Just make sure, I don't like doing things on the fly. So that is why I said, make sure you've already gone and entered your customer names or the insurance company names. So you can see from this list that I have them in here. Now I might find one that I don't, and if I do, I will show you how to add another, but it's really pretty simple. You go to Customer Hub, Customers, and then you would click New, and from there you'd add the name. I also created ahead of time the chart of accounts, and I think it's crazy not to categorize the insurance income. Now, sometimes there could be like 3 types of insurance under one broader name. Don't go that crazy, but I think you should, when you get to income, you really should categorize it by income. It's just so much better if you're comparing your billing software, anything like that. You can see it in your QuickBooks. It makes it a lot easier to speak to your biller too about what's really happening and not just what they say is happening. So if you notice here, I have a parent account, insurance income, and then I have the sub-accounts. Okay, so now that we've gone over the simple steps that you should set up your customer and your income codes, let's get into making some bank rules. So here it says Aetna. So we're going to pick Aetna. And then we're going to drop down and we can actually start typing Aetna. Then go to Create Rule. Now, I like an auto add, but I don't like it when your bank disconnects, because if you re-import it wrong, you could get duplicates, triplicates. But for this tutorial, I'm going to show you auto adds. And what I do is I actually put AA and then my initials. I mean, I do that because I have a firm, right? A bookkeeping company, and different people work for me. But I find that this way I know if I made the auto add. And then in the bank text, I only want a little bit. I don't want a lot, because if it's off just a little, then it won't pick up and create the transaction of the rule. So here we say test rule. So it has 4. Then we're going to double check these things. It's for a deposit type. We want it to go to insurance income Aetna, KE Aetna. And then we don't ever want replace bank memo. I hate that. And then down on the bottom, it says auto post. So click save. And I'm going to do one more. And this is really, again, guys, why you want to add everything ahead of time. Don't do things on the, leave the bank transaction window if you have to go create a category and then come back, or duplicate your tabs up here and do it on this tab. It never goes well. So just leave those, go back, get that done, and then come back. So again, I like to name my rules. You don't have to be as crazy as me. I like bank text. I think it's a really good one. They used to have bank description. Now they keep changing everything. So I'm only looking for the CDPHP part. I'm going to test the rule. This priority is kind of new. It's just like as I'm adding rules, but if you have something that shares a similar name, you'll have to be careful. I'm going to delete the replace bank memo because the bank memo is important. That could have a chain of numbers or something specific to anything, especially like maybe not so much with insurance income, but if you were charging your credit card in your QuickBooks and so forth. So always just make it your rule that in your rules, you leave this empty. And I'm again choosing auto post. Okay, I'm gonna go and create the rest of the rules and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. One more thing while I go through these, I thought I should point out is that I'm creating my basic rule in one of the categories, right? So this transaction we have for February 5th, I'm filling out the customer, I'm filling out my category account code. I'm doing that before I click create a rule, because then what it does is it fills it in for us, right? So look, it's already saying what I was doing. So I thought you don't want to try and create you need to already have pre-filled it out is my point. One more thing I want to point out is that you're creating the rule inside the transaction. So for this one, I'm going to put in the customer name. I'm going to pick the correct category. And then when I click create the rule, it's going to pre-fill here. So you're not you want to, don't click create a rule later. It's better to do it where it's a little bit bigger and you can see it better. And then again, remember to you only need the main part of the insurance company. You don't even need, so you want it to be able to pick up. So it comes in a different way another time, your rule will work. Remember to delete the bank memo. Okay, I'm gonna finish these off. Okay guys, so I have just categorized all of the February. So let's just look at what that looks like and why I think it's so important. Because this way it's all broken out. Instead of, I've seen a lot of QuickBooks that say insurance income and you have no idea from which carrier, how much, what's the percentage, and so forth, right? So you could take this, export it to a Google Sheet, and then determine what is the percentage of sales for each one, right? So to me, this is really huge. I mean, I really believe in putting in the time at the beginning of your file, creating the correct income codes that help you make better business decisions later on. Like, are you even going to take this insurance anymore? Are they renegotiating down too much and now you have no profit, right? So this I think is really important. The other reason this is important is you can say to your biller, why does your report say I made $11,000 from Aetna? I see month over month, I only have $7,000 and $7,000, right? That's going to be a key indicator that maybe your biller's saying they billed that much, but you have a lot of denials or there's something else that needs to be done. I once worked with a medical practice and they were tanking there was no money coming in, and it was basically the biller was not following up on claims. So again, when you have reports like this that you can compare to the report your biller gives you, you have power, you have knowledge, right? Okay, so that's my rant about breaking out income. The next thing I wanted to show you really quick So take all that pause out, please. Okay, so another thing. Here are my rules that I just made. And I had no rules. I deleted them just for this tutorial. So I did that. And I think I created these in about 10 minutes. And then what I did was it added everything. So I have here where they say auto post. If for some reason you need to turn off auto post. Let's say all your bank transaction connections went bad and there was, something went wrong and you're going to have to import or reconnect and you're worried. I would be worried. What I would do is I would select all of them and then I would do a batch action and turn off the auto post. So now look, these no longer have auto post. So I would do anything like that. If you're having a real problem with your bank connection, which can happen, click them all. I bet I could have done an all thing and just turn off the auto post. And then once you get things going again, so this would just make them show up in the bank transaction window and you'd have to click categorize. All right, so I'm Laurie from Madison Ave Bookkeeping. Please reach out if you need help or are considering a new or first time ever getting a bookkeeping company. We specialize in solo private practices, and I believe in upfront pricing. You can check out our calculator on our website, and you can also schedule a free consultation. All right, so have a great day. Bye.